they're off. Over 3 miles for the Bet365 hurdle, this Grade 2 contest. And 3 under through 5. Gets a nice easy lead up past the stands for the first time. Already has poached 5 lengths on the field. Indefatigable races in second, ahead of the favourite Sporting John in third. Next is Thomas Derby, then Oscar Elite and Proschema, the early back marker, as they swing left-handed, racing away from the stands, and it is 3 under through 5. Back over hurdles today on this is comeback run for the 22-23 season, and out clear of last year's heroine Indefatigable. She races in second spot, a further 2 lengths in advance of Sporting John, who's up the inside of Thomas Derby, then Oscar Elite in the orange colours, and finally Proschema, as they're now into the back straight and galloping on the approach to the first flight of hurdles. 3 under through 5. A little bit awkward at it, but safely across, and remains well in advance of Indefatigable. Thomas Derby in a sheepskin noseband a little wider out. Sporting John over towards the inside, and then in rear Oscar Elite and Proschema as they race towards the completion of the opening half a mile, and are now coming to flight number 2, 3 under through 5. Again, just having a good old look at that flight, but crossed it safely under Adrian Heskin, and now on towards the third. 3 under through 5, ridden into it, hops over from Thomas Derby, who was 4th in this race last year behind Indefatigable. Indefatigable racing in 3rd at present in the hands of Rex Dingle. A big race ride for Rex, his only mount of the day. Then the white-faced Oscar Elite around the outside of Sporting John. Sporting John, a Grade 1 winning chaser in his time, but he's good over hurdles as well. Back in this discipline today, and the back marker is Proschema. Proschema, who ran 2nd in this contest 12 months ago. So racing towards the completion of the first third of the contest, passing the 2-mile start, and 3 under through 5, has enjoyed plenty of peace up ahead from the drop of the flag, and races on with a 4-length cushion. Indefatigable, who returned 12 days ago on the flat at Pontefract. Prep run for this, get her on song, she's in second, without a bit wider Thomas Derby. 3 under through 5, over that flight from Indefatigable. Thomas Derby, who won the Grade 2 long distance hurdle down at Newbury around this time last year, as they come to jump another. Little guessy there, Thomas Derby, just snatched at the flight a bit, with back in behind them Sporting John, Oscar Elite, and then a little break of around 3 lengths or so to Proschema as they come towards the flight, which will be the last next time. Once again, all jumping well, and they continue to be led down to halfway by 3 under through 5 for trainer Paul Nicholls, who seeks a 4th win in this race. Indefatigable racing in second. Thomas Derby is in third. Then Sporting John, Philip Hobbs, his only runner here today. And like Paul Nicholls, Philip Hobbs looks for his 4th win in this race. Back in behind Sporting John, another half-length back Oscar Elite, and then a 2-length break to the Skelton trained and ridden Proschema. Dan Skelton, who won this with Roxana a couple of years ago. So racing on towards the entrance to the back straight. 6 flights behind them, 6 more to get across. And it is 3 under through 5, looking to make every yard of the running. Thomas Derby around the outside of Indefatigable. Next is Sporting John, Oscar Elite, and finally Proschema. Over the 7th flight of hurdles, they've all taken it safely. They're right across from us here in the stands, with currently 7 or 8 lengths covering first to last. And they're now running on towards the final mile. 3 under through 5 remains ahead. Thomas Derby racing wider out of Indefatigable. Not a great deal to separate those two, second and third, as they come to jump another. The leader not all that clever that time, and briefly dropping the reins, Adrian Heskin quickly picks them up again. 3 under through 5. Takes them on towards the 4th from home, and ran down that, but safely across. Thomas Derby travelling well, the check sleeves and cap. The dark blue cap along the inside is Indefatigable. Further back to Sporting John, Tom O'Brien biding his time, as are both Brendan Powell on Oscar Elite and Harry Skelton on Proschema, who's obliged to race a little wide into the next turn. So at the furthest point from us, they're tightly grouped, only 5 lengths between first and last. 3 under through 5, has very much had things all to himself up front. Can he hold them off? Indefatigable now just a length and a half behind him in second. In third is Thomas Darby. Sporting John gets a squeeze to the inside of Oscar Elite, and wider out is Proschema. They're homeward bound in the Grade 2, Bet 365 hurdle, 3 under through 5, looking to kick here. Indefatigable now comes under a ride. Thomas Darby a little wider out. Away to the left, the white-faced Oscar Elite is coming into it. Sporting John as well as they cross the first in the home straight, and to the very far outside, Proschema appears to be running away and is catching up rapidly. Down they come towards 2 out. Thomas Darby now takes over from 3 under through 5. Big jump in front from Thomas Darby. The danger could well be Proschema, who moves into second position. Oscar Elite is in third, then 3 under through 5. Indefatigable and Sporting John can't go on. Here's the final flight. Proschema takes over from in second place Thomas Darby, and Proschema is going to go one better in this race than he did 12 months ago, and is punched out by Harry Skelton towards the line. A big race double for the Skeltons. Proschema with every stride comes further and further away. A most impressive win. In second place Thomas Darby, 3 under through 5 was third, then Sporting John, Oscar Elite and Indefatigable.
The Bet 365 West Yorkshire hurdles went away. The Skeltons again, double on the day for the pair of you. Well done. I've rarely seen Harry and yourself as happy.
Yeah, it's been a magic day. You know, it's great to run good horses in good races, and it's even better to get them across the line. And like Proschema, to be fair, we had a bit of a plan this year. He was going to do what he did last year and hopeful to go one better in this race. So when he's achieved that, you know, it's brilliant for the horse. And the owner's been very patient with him. He's been a horse that's had a few little niggly issues in his fetlocks, and I think as he's got older, he's just grown out of them. But yeah, it's just great to have proper jumps racing back, and you know, a little bit of drizzle this morning. The ground's lovely. You know, this is what we love doing.
Long distance hurdle, Newbury.
Yeah, we've got to avoid the terrible ground of the winter. I mean, I say with the long walk, he wouldn't. Yeah, we wouldn't even go to post in the long walks ground. Neither would you for a cleave. So we've got to pick around that. So the obvious ones are Newbury in a month, and then we'll look at the World Hurdle and Aintree.
And this has been a plan. Like all summer, you were saying this was his big sort of first target.
Yeah, big first target. Of course, if you don't win today, you got to look at things differently. If he didn't win today, I'd have to say he's not a graded horse. You know, we've had 2 goes at it on reasonable under our reasonable conditions, and we didn't win. Then we'd have to go down the handicap route. But that's not the case. He's won, so we're gonna go and have a go.
Why not? Why not? Well done. They're calling you for your prize.
Cheers. Thank you.